What's the best Wi-Fi name you've seen? Used to live in a rough neighborhood with lots of addicts. Husband set ours to surveillance van number 1. The whole police mobile command names are getting dated now, but before those kinds of names were well known, that was pretty good. I live in a medical marijuana state, but when the law was first passed, the police were pissed about it, and still did everything they could to get people in trouble without getting into it too much. Pretty stuff like that. If you forgot to lock the door to the grow room when frantically running to the front door to answer the screaming SWAT team who's threatening to break it down, they'd say the law says it has to be locked, and it's not. So you're getting charged with full-on manufacturing and doing 2 years in prison, even though you have a license. Things like that. You, Bill Shuett. Anyway, right about that time was when people just started naming their Wi-Fi after government entities, and the neighbor naming theirs FBI surveillance truck made me lose more than a few nights' sleep before I figured it out. I'm probably one of the few people who ever fell for that, and boy did it get me bad. Connecting. Mine is named Searching after reading one of these previous threads. My hotspot is loading. Knock 5 times for head, apartment 507. I love San Francisco. I once renamed my Bluetooth Aucun Peripherique Trouvé, which translates to no device detected. Then 2 weeks later, spent 45 minutes cursing my phone for not being detectable. Then it hit me. I've played myself. Mine is LAN Solo, which is pretty great. My 2.4 is LAN Solo and my 5 is Lando Calrissian. Abraham Linksys. I named mine that, and the other is John Wilkes Booth. I think John Wilkes Bluetooth has a better ring to it. Chance the Router. Chance the Whapper. The Marshall Mathers IP. There's one in my neighborhood called something like Airdrop Nudes for Internet. I misread it for Airdrop Nukes for Internet. Lightning Strike Inbound. IP Egg on the First Date. It was an apartment complex, so there were a lot of weird ones, but that one made me exhale air from my nose more than the others. I was driving around Europe the summer of 2008, and the only way I had access to the internet was through internet cafes or connecting my laptop to random open Wi-Fis. One night, I parked in a somewhat secluded area to sleep, and so I grabbed my laptop and did a Wi-Fi search. Found one at it was named Sai Nit Here, meaning don't stay here or don't be here. Noped really fast away from that spot. Hide your kids, hide your Wi-Fi. Mordor. It was password protected. One does not simply log into Mordor. Mine is Toilet Cam 2. I live in a big apartment complex. I really hope it has caused some sleepless nights. A Wi-Fi has no name. A guest has no Wi-Fi. A girl has no Wi-Fi. I am under your bed and I look at you while you are asleep. I found one named Killer Clown in the dark while I was walking home at night, and since I had no 4G, I was looking if I could find an open Wi-Fi. Ours are set as we watch you shower and you look good naked. All of our neighbors kept their blinds shut or curtains drawn up until there was a tenant switch next door. This guy keeps all his blinds open in a complete power move. Dad, click here. Alternatively, Mom, this is the Wi-Fi. Look, Ma, no wires. Look, Ma, no LAN. Not the Wi-Fi you're looking for. The frat house across the street from me. It's not gay, it's brotherhood. Password, no homo. Mine is Panic at the Cisco. My neighbor completely ruined the ending of Infinity War for me. Since he was beginning to watch Game of Thrones and I was spiteful, I changed my Wi-Fi networks to Ned Stark Dies Season 1 and Jon Snow Dies Season 5. I'm not proud of it, but it did give some small satisfaction. Super slow. When I hovered over the Wi-Fi button in Windows, the pop-up said, Super slow internet access. I thought that was pretty cool. I was at an airport and someone's hotspot name was Yell Nice Rack for password. My friend named her hotspot Yell Leroy Jenkins for password. It's really fun to turn it on at an XC meet. My dad named ours Nacho Wi-Fi because we had neighbors who moved in who were stealing our Wi-Fi. They had kids our age and I was hanging out with one of them. When they said they had Wi-Fi, I said, "Oh wow!" And they said, no one from the Wi-Fi company came by, but they still managed to get some from somewhere. He didn't know where. Turns out his parents were using our Wi-Fi and not telling them because they didn't want them telling us and us telling our parents. Us being me and my little brother. My dad said the Wi-Fi had been slower. I told him what the kids said and he immediately locked the Wi-Fi. We didn't know there wasn't a password set on it. So then came the dad joke Wi-Fi name. Nacho Wi-Fi. For those who don't get it, not your Wi-Fi. Nacho Wi-Fi. I went from a 4 karma to 1.0 karma because my dad is a practical jokester who had the opportunity to do a dad joke and did so amazingly. Thank you, Reddit. I once printed, "Secure your Wi-Fi" on one of my neighbor's Wi-Fi enabled printers. He didn't think it was funny. Ours is The Knights Who Say Nigh. My family were staying in Philadelphia for a couple of days, and we're staying in an Airbnb apartment. One Wi-Fi said, "I know apartment number is an illegal Airbnb." Others were just things like potato salad and random things. A few weeks back, I was staying in an Airbnb in Bangkok. The Wi-Fi name was Sexy Thigh, and the password was sex. Only an enlightened person will be able to guess how they came up with that name and password. I had 2 routers. 1, FBI surveillance vehicle. 2, Russian surveillance of FBI. Mine is Virus Distribution Center. A house on my street has once named Hagrid's Hut, and we passed a house once with one named Get Your Own Wi-Fi. LOL, my old neighborhood had Get Your Own Wi-Fi, homie. Mine is Aperture Science. I figure people who get it will chuckle, and those who don't will just think someone has a business out of their place. I generally pair it with naming one of my electronics GLaDOS too. Same. I have also used Black Mesa. No one in my neighborhood gets it, I'm sure. But I got bored of FBI van number 541. HTTP error 418. FBI surveillance van 2. My brother used this all the time. One day we were working with this guy who was known to all the co-workers as being a dealer. Well, one morning I got to work and he asked if anyone could turn on the hotspot because he didn't have data. My brother said sure. So he turns it on and this guy's face turns white. He hops in his car and doesn't show up the next day. So after a few unanswered calls and texts, he finally shows up at my house. He's freaking out saying the FBI is after him and that he showed up to work the other day. When we asked what he meant, he told us that they had their Wi-Fi named FBI Surveillance Van 2. I just about died laughing and it took him a long time to get over that. LOL. Wow, I came here to tell this exact same story. My husband used to name all the various family business Wi-Fi to this, and this same thing happened. Non-client saw it, got nervous, and deleted all her cookies and browser info. Family friend, so it's just a funny story now. I was walking by a house and the Wi-Fi was called, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" And being intrigued, I typed in, "No, this is Patrick," and I actually got in. Connecto Patronum. Password was Mischief Managed. A better SSID would be My Router's Map. Mine's Routers of Rohan. Stole it from an old roommate. It hurts when I pee. It hurts when I pee. FBI van, or Mortii Matii, an insult in Romanian translating literally to your mother's dead. Not the name, but my password is, "It's on the fridge." So when people ask me for the password, I tell them it's on the fridge and watch them fumble around the kitchen confused for a minute. Martin Router King. One does not simply connect to my Wi-Fi. My old neighbor, who is, as you might imagine, didn't let me use their Wi-Fi, so I had to take out my own contract. I've set mine once to Tatooine. A new neighbor moved in. A week later, his Wi-Fi was called, "This isn't the Wi-Fi you're looking for." We're still friends to this day. Hack me if you can. The day after became Challenge Accepted. Was Observazyjny, CBSP. This means a observation truck of Police Central Bureau of Investigation. I like this. I've seen a few FBI surveillance van connections over the year, and I don't even live in the USA. I'm happy you took the time to localize it. Can I post my own? My 70-year-old retired neighbor, who's become a good friend, is always cackling about something in his driveway while he tinkers with his motorcycles. So for a while, our Wi-Fi was, "Colt, we can hear you laughing." He never noticed. Someone in my neighborhood named their Wi-Fi 5G Tower 200%, and the local Karen called the cops. Mine is 5G Tower number 69, status CVD-19, on.